Hello everyone, this is Melanie from Melanie B's Creative Studio, and today I'm going to bring you something that is not necessarily hobby related, but it is. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this label maker is my hobby, because it's not, but it has helped me organize everything in my hobby room. So my art studio is labeled to the maximum. I've used this little machine that I got off Amazon and some labels, and I have labeled things in my studio to help me organize and to find things when I need them. So you'll notice I have printed round labels for my diamond drill jars, and I have printed labels for my canvases that are really full of information. Now, there's going to be a lot of information in this video about how to use this particular unit. I'm going to try to keep it brief as possible, but I do want to show you a lot of the things that you can do with it. So the first thing, when you order your PHOMEMO, this is the M110 unit. I chose orange because orange is like a pop of accent color in my art studio. They also had white and black, and I think maybe another color or two. I'm going to link you to this in the description below. They also have a variety of labels that you can use with this unit. I only have 4 different sizes, but these are the ones I use the most. So it did come with this one here, and I'm going to show it to you. It's a 40 by 30 millimeter rectangle. Now these are waterproof labels, and they're kind of a plastic texture to them. So they're not paper, so they really hold up. It's been incredible how well these have held up compared to some of the other labels I've used. So I have a couple of round sizes and a couple of rectangular sizes. So the one that I use for my canvases is this size here. It's a 50 millimeter by 80 millimeter rectangle, so it is a much larger piece. And I have gone through a lot of these, so I ended up buying another box of them, but the one that I have in my unit currently is a round. So I'm going to show you how to change out the labels in your machine. I'm going to show you how to design a label on my phone, because you use an app for this, and I'm going to show you what I have done to save the templates that I've made for the labels that I'm using. So first, let's start by just taking a look at this machine. This is a Bluetooth unit, so it will Bluetooth connect to your phone once you've downloaded the app. So the app is called Printmaster. So this is its icon. It's a little mushroom, and it says Printmaster with a space in between. So we're going to open that app up, and you're going to see the label maker picture. You're going to see a couple of templates I've made this morning to demonstrate, and you're going to see a little section here that says templates. Now that's where we're going to make our labels, but for right now, let me show you how to put the right labels into your unit. First, you're going to hold down the power button. Now this unit does come with a charging cable. I have only had to charge this one time. The charge lasts, I mean, y'all, hours and hours. I don't even know how many hours. Like, I've been using this little label maker for 3 months, and I'm not going to say I use it daily, but I use it a lot. And I've only charged it once because it was getting kind of low. It wasn't even dead. So it does hold a charge. And you would charge it with the cable that comes with it by just plugging it in here. So let me turn the power on. I'm holding the power button down. Okay. Now I can feed labels with this button, but typically I don't have to. But let's go ahead and switch out the labels that I have in here. I'm going to power it back off just by holding the power button down. This actually flips upward, so you're going to pull this out like that. You will slide off this end. It's very tight, which is good because it holds it in place. And I'm going to pull off these round labels that I had on here. The ones that I had on are 30 by 30 millimeter round. It looks like a square, but what you can see is there is a round cutout, almost like a die cut circle in here, like that. Okay, so anyway, I'm not going to use these this time. We're going to go in with 50 by 80 millimeter rectangle. I'm going to tighten up my labels Just kind of stretch them and get them all perfect. I'm going to slide this in the middle. This flat edge is going to be the top, okay? This goes between the paper exit and this little orange bar. And I'm just gonna hold it in place. And then I'm gonna take the other orange in, and I'm gonna make sure both flat edges are facing up. So let me see if I can get you in an angle where you can see that. So that's a flat and that's a flat, okay? Now I wanna feed the label through the part where it says paper exit and this little bar. And I'm just gonna kind of hold it in place while I slide it into the grooves here. So I'm going to line it up and push it into place. And then I'm just going to hold this forward and then close the lid. Now, when I push the power on, it's gonna automatically feed to where it needs to be, if it needs to. So let's say I need to feed this up a little bit. I'm gonna push this button here and it's gonna auto feed. That means it's gonna stop exactly where it needs to stop. And I'm just gonna pull it off with that perforated little bar there. So my printer is loaded with the label size that I need, which is the 50mm by 80mm rectangle. So what I'm gonna show you is how to design a label on my phone that will print out on this label maker. I'm gonna use this one that I use on my canvases as a guide. At the top, I have the company name. This one's from paintplot.com. I have a line just for, pretty purposes. Here it says product name, Colorful Park. Date I received it was 7/11 in 2020. That helps me keep up with how long I've had the paints and this painting before I'm starting it. The cost was $18.75. I must have had a discount. And the quality of the paints, I put good paints. Now this one, the paints weren't as good as they are now with PaintPlot. So if I have one that's got fantastic paint, I will put excellent paint or great paint. Now this one just was a very red, orange, yellow palette. So it was a struggle, but it wasn't necessarily the quality of the paint's bad. It was just the opacity was not great. So I put good paints. That tells me I may or may not want to paint this one anytime soon. Okay. But what I want to do is replicate this design. So I'm going to take my app, I've opened it up, and I'm going to go to templates. Over here, you're going to see the different types of templates they have and labels they have available. This is going to show me all of my round label options. There's that 20 by 21. There's that 30 by 31. Those are the two that I have. So the labels I just took out were the 30 by 30 round. That's this one. So let's go down here where it says rectangular label. So you'll see it already has auto labels in here. So if you really just need something quick, you can choose one of these. Now this is obviously a product that is Chinese, Asian of some kind, maybe Japanese, because of the way they have some of these templates, like infusion or whatever. I don't know what that means. But anyway, what I'm looking for is a 50 by 80mm label template. So I'm going to go down here and I'm looking here. This is where it's going to tell me the size that it's formatted for. So this one's at kind of a portrait mode. It's a vertical label. I'm going to just choose it as my template. I'm going to say edit. And then I have all this information here that is not what I need for my particular label. What I want to do is delete some of this stuff and edit and adjust this. So the first thing I don't need is this barcode. I'm going to select that barcode, and then there's a little button here that says delete, and that got rid of it. Up here, I'm going to just start changing a few things. Now, you'll notice this is going to print this way, but I need it to print this way. So I'm going to show you how to do all that. So I'm going to take the title, which says certificate, and I'm going to double click it. Here is where you're going to see the word certificate. I'm going to backspace, and I'm going to type in company. And that's going to be the company name of where I bought this particular painting. Here's where I can change my font. And I have some options on the font. I'm going to choose Gothic. And you can go back and look at all the different fonts. I'm going to go back to the original one. Okay, so now I need to rotate this to get it this direction. I'm going to confirm it first. And then I'm going to go here where it says rotate. Let me hold this a little closer. Let's see if I can get it focused in. See these little icons right here? There's a bunch of options there. So I'm going to click the rotate button, and it rotated my type. Then I'm going to grab it with my finger and move it where I need it to be. Now this is going to be a little larger font than what I'm used to using. So I can go back in, double click that word, go to font, and change the font size, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and do some of these others, just changing the name, deleting some of these. Double click it. I'm going to go to font and I'm going to change it to 14. Then I'm going to go back to input and confirm, and then I'm going to rotate it. Okay. So it's also giving me lines, little red lines that show me when things are lined up properly. So that border is going to be lined up. Changing item number to date received. I'm going to go ahead while I've got it open and change the font to 14 and go back to input and confirm and then rotate. Now, this is why the templates come in handy, you guys, because this is a pain in the ass to have to continue to do over and over again. So I've kind of got my layout. I want to add one more thing. I'm going to add a line just for graphic purposes. And by adding that line, it puts me a little line up here, and I want a solid line, not a dotted line. So I'm going to go ahead and drag the red lines like this, but then I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to drag it into place between the word company and product name. I want to make it longer to fit my label better. So I'm going to move it by pulling the little red lines and putting it into place. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and save this template by clicking down here, the little disk button. It says save. I want to save as because I'm going to change the name of what it originally was. And I'm going to name this Canvas Label. Confirm. So now it's going to save what I've put in so far. Now I'm going to go ahead and add, using the same method, the information on this label. And I'm going to fast forward you through that. Once I've got my placement and everything the way I want it, I don't want to touch anything else. I'm going to click the save button again, and then I'm just going to put save. I'm not going to do save as, because I'm just going to, go over what I already saved and replace it with this one. So then next time I come in to do a label for one of my canvases, all I have to do is select this template and change these text boxes here to describe the canvas I'm working on. Okay, so now this label is saved. Let's go back and let me show you where you find it before we print one. I'm going all the way back to the beginning. This is my home screen. I've opened up my app, and this is where I am. I've already loaded this size label into my PHOMEMO. Down here, there's a little print button, and I'm going to click that. This printer right here, I'm going to click the device name, and it's automatically going to connect it. So I don't know if you heard that. and it's going to show you how to load your paper. So I've already done all that. Now it's going to go back to this screen, and I'm going to click how many labels I need, which is copies here. If I only need one of these, that's all I'm going to put. Then I'm going to just click this checkbox, and that is going to send it to my printer. Now I have a label that will go on my canvas. I promise you guys, once you've made a label or two, you will get the hang of this. It is super easy once you've done all that. Once you have the templates made, you know, it's easy. I've already made templates for like my jars, like this one. Now, for those of you who have home businesses, you can also print barcodes, inventory information, SKUs, all of that stuff. There's a lot more you can do. And you can actually add photos. So maybe that's another lesson for another day. But I hope this will help you with your home office or your art studio, your hobby room, your hobby area, however you want to organize. So let me know what you think of this little printer. I have definitely gotten my money's worth. It is not a super cheap little thing, but if you do a lot of this kind of stuff, it's so worth your time and your money. All right, that is all for today. Thank you guys for watching and being here, and I appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you back soon.